Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Political Animals, where we bring you an analytical and, as far as I'm concerned, always cynical point of view of geopolitical conditions around the world. So I'm here running solo today to talk about Trump's announcement. So Trump has announced that, and the way he says it is that this war is over. It's a 12-day war. It could have become a broader conflagration in which a lot of people were killed and hurt. But I, Donald Trump, have brought about an agreed upon treaty between Israel and Iran. So he states that within the next 24 hours, this thing will de-escalate and it will be over. And if this is really true, we have to give Trump credit as being a marketing genius and maybe even a political genius by the time the day is over, because this was a serious situation. We all know that Israel started it by striking strategic areas in Iran. And at that point, it looked like it was a unilateral attack by Israel. But when it appeared that it was going very well, Trump said, "Oh, yeah, I ordered this, and this is what I'm going to do." Very quickly, we saw that it was a bad idea because the Iron Dome wasn't working, and Iran was going toe-to-toe with Israel, sending missiles in, and it was not looking good for Israel. People have to be underground. Airports were shut down so that people can't leave the country, because if not for that, probably would see a great exodus out of the country. And Iran was overwhelming Israel with drones and cheap missiles, and then using specific precision missiles to strike certain areas in Israel. And it became clear over these past few days that Israel is actually exposed to Iran and really defenseless against this missile program, which can also be used for surface-to-air missiles that can take down planes, and as well as missiles that can go and land in Israel, so that they don't really need an air force. Israel needs an air force. If America jumps in, they're going to have to use planes, and that's going to cost a lot of money for fueling and everything else. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure if it's going to make a difference. It's going to stop Iran from continually striking against Israel and basically decimating Israel's economy. There was also the threat of the Strait of Hormuz being closed. And if that happens, oil prices around the world are going to skyrocket. And moreover, this type of war could lead to a nuclear escalation because of Israel. If Israel gets desperate, they might strike, who knows, they might strike Iran with a missile. Or if the U.S. sees that Israel's about to really collapse, they might start using nuclear weaponry too. I doubt that's going to happen. But anyway, all of this context is just to show you that Trump was in a really bad position, especially after he struck Iran and brought America into this war. Back home, the MAGA supporters are not in favor of this. Tulsi Gabbard, the intelligence, who's in charge of intelligence, said that Iran is not, based on the indications, is not trying to make a nuclear weapon. There are no indications that they will. And Trump actually went against what she said. He said, "I don't care. I'm going to go ahead anyway." And he went ahead and struck Iran. This movement, without even involving Senate and Congress and going against his MAGA base, who he promised that he was coming in to end all the wars, put Trump in a very, very shaky situation. I don't know where my Trump hat is. I wasn't going to throw away my Trump hat because it says "Make America Great Again." I was going to say that Trump is no longer part of MAGA. That's how bad it is. And now on top of that, though, Trump has another problem in that he seems to be very committed to Israel and has allowed Israel to unilaterally bomb Iran. And maybe the war hawks in the Pentagon or in the State Department have something on him. So it seems like he has to act in the favor of Israel over America, over his populace. So he was in a really jammed situation. But to cut it short, what I believe happened that makes him such a genius is that, and once again, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm just saying that this was a cheeky move he made right here, and we might want to give him some credit for it. So by no means am I really calling Trump a genius, but he might have found a way to slither out of this situation. He basically telegraphs when he's going to bomb Iran. I believe he did. After he bombed Iran, he told them, "Oh, there are no chances of. We don't intend to escalate or do an overthrow of the government so long as you don't strike at us and you surrender. I think what he means is that you got to stop aggressing Israel. But there's no way that Iran's going to do that until Israel stops. But anyway, so that bombing that he did, nobody was hurt. Nothing was really hurt. The areas that they hit where they were supposed to be going after nuclear enrichment, there's footage of it. Those areas being cleared before the bombing, which means that Trump telegraphed it. This is theater. And what he gains from doing this is saying, see, I'm strong. I attacked Iran. America's great. Me and Bibi are the rock stars of the world. We show them. Then, lo and behold, today, Iran sends 14 missiles to a base in Qatar towards the U.S. Now, here's where it gets interesting. They called, and Trump says it, and they say they called him and gave him forewarning of it. And of course, the 14 missiles were intercepted by Qatar, the brave guys of Qatar. And after that, very soon after that, Trump comes out and says, great news, everybody. This war will only be a 12-day war. I have saved the world from catastrophe. I am great. Then, well, I'll get back to the then. Let's get back. So to me, this was a staged also to allow Iran to save face. Something like this happened last year when Israel was striking, made some strikes on Iran, and Iran sent missiles to Israel and told the U.S. when those missiles would come in, and the U.S. shot it down. So this is just a chance for Iran in front of its people to look like the leaders to look like they're competent. They said, oh, yeah, we sent missiles to America. We're not afraid. Same time, Trump says, oh, yeah, I bombed them and showed them. Both sides are finding a way out, apparently, if Trump is not bluffing, because he could be bluffing and try to continue striking Iran. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think America nor Israel, well, Israel thinks they want it. They don't want Iran's smoke because you can't beat Iran. You'll end up with another quagmire like Vietnam or something, and the country will survive, and the U.S. will be drained, and Israel will be decimated. Israel's economy will be finished. So I think somehow where behind the curtains, the Wizards of Oz came together and said, look, let's find a way to slither out of this. Let's find out. And I'll make it known that I support Iran 100% all of this. The only thing I'm wondering is why did they go over 60% enrichment or whatever nuclear to provoke America into its illegal attack and Israel into its illegal attack? Why were they really being so stubborn? And why are they persisting in building a nuclear weapon? I don't think if they try to do that, I really do believe the U.S. will come in and you might even see a nuclear strike. So I think they need to calm down. But I think right now they may be off the hook too. And their pride has been saved by sending these missiles. Trump's pride has been saved. And then Trump gets to look like, the great president who's keeping his promise to de-escalate the world wars. I don't know what's going to happen in Russia with Ukraine, but at least he's not fanning the flames of that war which Biden started. So it looks for Trump that if this really does happen, it's a sort of political victory. It's not a real political victory for him because he went down that road of taking military aggression towards a country. As far as I'm concerned, he did it illegally. The strike was illegal. He did it without Congress and Senate. So that looks bad. And also, he supported Israel in this illegal war. And he's also not helping them. He's not stopping Israel from what they're doing in Palestine to young kids and to women. But in general, this could be a victory for him in a way that he just gets to have the limelight and say, oh, look, me and Bibi, we fought the good war and we've destroyed Iran's nuclear capability totally, and we've brought peace to the Middle East. So this makes it look like he's a well-rounded leader. He can be tough, but he can also have a little bit of restraint, and he can negotiate if these negotiations go through. But here's what the funny thing is. So here, look at the language he's using, because what he's doing now is that he's separating himself from past American presidents. Maybe not Carter. I think Carter was a great person when it comes to the Middle East. But what he did was he said, God bless Israel, God bless the United States of America, and God bless Iran, and God bless the Middle East. So he's now painting himself as someone who's not antagonistic towards Iran. When you hear someone say, God bless Iran, we know he's lying. But the connotation of that, or the meaning of that, is that you wish well to Iran. And no other American president has done this. So those types of words are sort of peaceful, pacifistic, or pacific, or whatever, even though we know it's all show. And we should all keep our eyes open on what continues, because even as we speak, Israel is still sending missiles to Iran. Iran is sending to them some too, but it seems like it's cool down. And Iran, in the last few minutes, has said that they will halt all of this as soon as Israel's aggression stopped. So now the world's going to be looking at Israel now, because Israel is really the key to this whole situation. What is Netanyahu going to do? I believe that for the time being, he'll cool down because I think that he had no choice. Israel would have been decimated. Their economy would have been finished. They would have been a third world country if this thing continued for more weeks. And the people of Israel, for the first time, are seeing missiles over their head. They have to sleep under the ground. They're living like refugees, the way that the people that they're abusing in Palestine are living. So hopefully sense has come into their heads and they can take their hate and go stuff it somewhere because it's not in their best interest, hope either. And hopefully this situation can dissolve until a couple of years again, or a couple of weeks, or a couple of months when it'll start rising up again. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.